Kimberly here with two fantastic family game night games that's sure to get you thinking and having fun and laughing. So I want to do these back to back because I was surprised at how fun and delightful and thoughtful and just engaging these two games were. And back to back could be a lot of fun for family members and really like loved ones essentially. So when you are in a next family gathering for the next holiday, I know the next time I see my sister and her kids, I'm going to bring these two games specifically for the fun, for the joy, for the memories. So the first one I want to talk about is called Caution Signs. Now, Caution Signs is a little bit sillier. It's a lot of fun, and there is some fast drawing needed. So here's how it works. One player is going to be the guesser. And the guesser is going to essentially watch everybody else draw and keep track of a 20-second timer on their phone, which I've got my 20-second timer ready to go. Now, what players are going to do is get this caution sign right here. They're going to take their dry erase marker and they're going to kind of hold it like a diamond, because what you're going to do is have a caution sign. You'll draw one card from each of those different piles and you will have essentially a description and then an item or a thing. And that's where this comes into, this is where all the humor comes in, is you're going to have some really ridiculous combinations of things you have to draw. And so you're going to look at it and not show anybody else, take 20 seconds to draw it, and then you are going to put your caution sign on display, and then you're going to essentially, with everyone else, shuffle up all of your signs and your caution cards, adding two more from each stack randomly from the box, and then the guesser is going to look at everybody's cards, and they're going to try to put the combinations together based on what you draw. Absolutely loads of fun. So we're going to do it, you and me, and I'm not going to show you what I'm drawing. I'm going to essentially make sure you can't see the two cards I draw. I'm going to shuffle them up with two others from each stack, put them out, and then I'm going to ask you to kind of think through it and see if you can figure it out. And I guarantee you, this is off of the cuff. I haven't seen these. So we'll see how well it goes, and I'll run my 20-second timer and you'll kind of see me drawing madly. Whenever I do this, I always like to give that drawer or the drawers a countdown, like from 10 seconds and then 5 seconds, just so that they know it's coming up. So I'm going to take a look at my two cards and then I'm going to put out a couple more. So you're going to see a cut right about now. So now I'm going to put these down here. I'm going to draw a couple more to mix up so that we don't know what it might be. And we'll see if we, okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to do that. We're going to have some shuffles. All right, so now I am going to set my alarm. It is set for 20 seconds and go. Two, one, stop. Okay, so here's what I drew. This is my picture. So let's see what we could possibly have picked from. So we have our describers here are wacky, fast, playful, and we've got a turkey, a teacher, and a turtle. So out of those, now when you have more players in the game than just me, you're always going to have two more of each that you draw and everybody else's that they drew. So the more players, the better. This is 3 to 9 players. You've got plenty of boards, and if you don't have enough boards and dry erase markers for everyone, just get paper and pencil. This could be fantastically big if you want it to be, because you're going to have plenty of these caution and sign cards to draw. So I've given you enough time to think about what you think the combination is of this thing that I drew, and I really, really hope you were able to I hope you were able to see it. So what I'm going to do at this point is show you me looking at my combination, and if you essentially guessed both sides. This is where you come into the points. If you essentially guess both sides, you are going to receive points. The drawer receives 3 points for drawing well enough for you to guess it, and then the guesser receives 2 points. If you only get one side, either the top or the bottom, the drawer gets 1 point, and then the guesser gets none. And of course, if you get none correct, then neither drawer or guesser is going to receive a point. And you just simply keep track of your points here in hashtags like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then that is going to be how you score up for all of these. And it's loads of fun because I think what you're doing here is kind of like a fast version of any kind of drawing game. I mean, 20 seconds is really, really fast. But it reminds me of how much fun this past holiday season I had with telestrations. And you're drawing pretty fast there and then passing. And so there's that lovely telephone feature. And in this case, you've got a description that can sometimes be really challenging to draw. Like, how do you depict it? How do you show, in this case, which you probably have already guessed by now, was a fast turtle. That's exactly what I was going for, was a fast turtle. Now, maybe wacky, maybe playful. I don't think teacher or turkey. I hope you didn't pick teacher or turkey, but it's a fast turtle. So 2 points for you if you got fast turtle, 3 points to me because I drew a cutie little turtle. From memory is really hard for me. Drawing is not my forte. So that is going to be the overview for caution signs, and you can see just how much fun this is. Make sure everybody gets to be the guesser, and then everybody else is going to, of course, be the drawer in one particular round. Tons and tons of fun. So I'm going to get these guys back here. When you're done, put them on the side that is the empty side because you've already used them. And then by the time you get back around to those, I mean, this is a massive stack of cards right there. So it is going to absolutely be more than enough cards. And give them a good shuffle, and then you will be set. So got my marker in there, and I put this guy over here. And now I'm going to talk about It's Kind of a Fun Story Family Edition. So the thing about this that really captured my attention is that you've got a group of people, you're sitting around, and you just want to talk. I mean, sometimes when you get together with family and friends, you're not necessarily wanting to focus on something else, you're wanting to focus on each other, you're just wanting to kind of shoot the breeze and just have fun conversations and tell stories that you might be familiar with or stories that are brand new to you. And that's really what this game offers. There are a couple types of cards here. The first one is a story card, and a story card is going to be pink. So, how about this one? This is an example. These were the cards that I played through with a couple friends and my husband. So this story card is worth 2 points, and players are simply going to draw from the top of the deck. This big box right here is just there for everyone. Once you put them in the past, you just put them, go right behind that card right there. Super easy. So this says, what item from when you were younger do you wish you still owned? And what happened when I drew this was I was thinking about all the things, like, what do I wish I still had? And it made me think of so many lovely things that I wish I still had, one of which is my mother's record player when I was in elementary and middle school particularly, and then high school to a certain degree. I had her records. I had all of her Beach Boys and her Beatles and all these records. Like, it was amazing. I had such a treasure trove of beautiful music and then a classic record player. And I don't have that. I don't have that here. I don't think she has it. I think in some weird twist of events, my cousin got it because it got taken to my grandparents. I don't know. It's MIA. And I loved that record player. And when you think about these things, when you tell these stories, when you talk about it, especially if you're with people that were a part of your story, they start telling things too. Now, the game is intended to create opportunities for players to challenge other players' stories. So if I tell my story about the record player that I still wish I had, somebody else can say, I think I can top that story, and they can tell their story. And then players at the table, wherever you're sitting, can essentially vote on who earns the 2-point card. I'm not the biggest fan of points in a game like this because for me, it's about the connection, it's about the memory, it's about the storytelling. So that's a story card. Another card is left or right. And in left or right, they will receive 1 point. This is the person who drew the card. Who would take control during an escape room? And so all you're doing is you're looking at the player to your left and the player to your right, and you're saying, okay, who would take control during an escape room? And then you would point to them, and then you hand them the card. So when you draw from the top of the deck for your turn, you're going in turn order around in a circle. You don't know if you're going to get a story card. You don't know if you're going to get a left or right. And then you don't know if you're going to get a point a finger. Here's another type of card. Who thinks they are the main character of their family? And again, you can have just so much fun with this because whenever this came up, both my husband and I pointed at him. And you're just like, it's just so clear. It's just so obvious sometimes the answers to these and really where it's coming from and how you come to that particular conclusion, because then it just opens up a whole bunch of discussions. So that's yet again another type. And then the third type is everybody answers. So let's find that card. Okay, so everybody answers. 1 point. What is your biggest pet peeve? And so everybody will go around the circle, say what their biggest pet peeve is, and then everyone is going to vote for who they thought had the best, biggest pet peeve, or the best story, or the best whatever. And so then you're going to get 1 point for this. Whoever answers that is going to receive the card. So these are the 4 different types of cards. And they really just, again, share the most important, lovely, beautiful things with each other. Here's a story card that got me thinking and talking about just wonderful things. The moment in your life you would like to relive. My husband had such a good story for this, such a good response for this. And of course it made me think about it too, because it's a memory that we share. So wonderful opportunities for these story cards that are just fun and funny. Here's another one. If you were a spy on a secret mission, who would you choose as your partner? In this case, both my husband and I chose our friend. We were like, I wouldn't take you, I would take them. And so it's great to hear those responses and to feel comfortable and honestly to feel joy when you're telling these stories, when you're talking about these things and sharing these moments with people. This I wanted to emphasize as a family game because this is the family edition of It's Kind of a Fun Story. So when you dig into this game, when you dig into these questions, they are all going to be appropriate for families, for children, for related people, for friends, for coworkers even. What was your most memorable birthday? What ridiculous thing has someone tricked you into doing or believing? What invention would make everyone's life better? What is a memory about school assembly that stands out to you? We all have that school assembly story. The player on each side must show their best model walk. You choose the winner. What TV show, real or fictional, would you like to be on and why? I mean, I would have a field day with this. I think that'd be so fun. What story from your life comes to mind when you hear the word surprise? Brilliant. And then who do you trust the least to pack your lunch? I mean, some of these questions are fun and fast, and some of them really ask you to dive a little bit deeper. But the joy with this is you play until you don't want to play anymore. And usually there's a way to do the scoring that's a little bit more equitable. Again, I'm not as concerned about the scoring, but there are points to the cards and there are ways you award points to winners. And there are ways to challenge the story cards. I do believe this is the first player to 7 points wins. That's going to be the game itself. But to me, the joy is in the questions. And look at this. This stack of cards is so big. And there's such a variety of questions in here and ways of answering. Tons of fun. Again, I'm taking It's Kind of a Fun Story, and I'm taking caution signs. The next time I see my sister and her kids and her husband, it's going to be fantastic. When we get all together, there's 7. If my parents are there, it's 9. We'll have a pretty hearty group there to play all of these games. And I can only imagine how fun and funny it would be to see my folks play caution signs. See their drawings? I sent them to a painting class one time, and they did some Monet water lilies, and I cherish them. They're upstairs in my bedroom. I love them. but they probably didn't have as much fun as I wanted them to. So fun things, fun stories, and again, just a great way to talk about stories that you maybe wouldn't have thought of had you not been triggered with a particular word or a particular prompt. Just great stuff. Okay, that's going to be it. Have fun at your next big game night, family party game night with these 2 games. I'll see you next time. Bye. So you're looking at this after the fact. I just drew fast turtle. I really hope you pick fast turtle.